Warning: Superpower review is intended for a mature viewing audience. This video may show images that are not suitable for kids under 13 years old. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ken Vidini here for Superpower Review, and on today's video we are taking a look at the Hobgoblin Resin statue made by Diamond Select Toys. Alright guys, before we get into today's statue review, I just want to remind you guys to please smash that like button if you like today's content. Comment some feedback in the comment section down below, and lastly, subscribe to the channel to show your support and to potentially win a free slab. Alright guys, before we take a look at the statue, let's start off this review by taking a look at the box. On the front of the box we have a really cool image of the statue. The statue is limited to 3,000 pieces, and the statue is also sculpted, hand sculpted I should say, by Jane St. Jean and designed by Joe Allard. On the back here we have yet another image of the statue, and you get a little bit of a brief description about the Hobgoblin in case if you didn't know about him. And on the sides we have another couple of more images of the statue, and on the left side we have the same thing. And not too much at the top. At the top we get yet again another Hobgoblin logo, and it just says that this is the Marvel Premiere Collection resin statue. So not too much about the box. I will be keeping this box, by the way. I know sometimes when I do my statue reviews, I let you guys know if I keep the boxes or not. This box is really cool, and I usually keep the boxes to my statues that are a little more on the high price. So let's get this out of the way. And as always, when you buy a statue by Diamond Select Toys, it always comes with a certificate of authenticity, which I really like a lot. So like I said, this is limited to 3,000 pieces, and this piece happens to be 1,118 out of 3,000. Now, if you couldn't tell already, this statue is a 3D version of this cover right here, which is the Amazing Spider-Man number 238, and this happens to be the first appearance of the Hobgoblin. Now, Jane St. Jean is one of my favorite sculptors at Diamond Select Toys, and again, this is hand sculpted, okay, and this is absolutely a beautiful piece. Now, I picked this piece up at the Toy Vault, and I did a sort of a statue hunting video, and if you haven't watched that yet, a link to that video is in this video's description down below. But this is just an absolutely gorgeous piece, and we're going to break it down starting off with the base, okay? So on the base we have sort of this smoke base that I really like a lot. And the thing is about this base too is that it's not just a big glob of smoke, okay? There is actually some shape to it. And if I turn it here, you can actually see that again, it's not a huge big glob. It's somewhat like a donut shape. You can sort of see that. Okay, and so the smoke kind of tells a story about the motion of the statue. So it starts off here and kind of whips around, and I really like how they painted the smoke. So if you take a really close look here, okay, the glider is igniting fire. So in the grooves of the smoke we have somewhat of a orange paint to it, and it slowly transitions into this yellow paint here. And as we move along through the smoke, it goes into a very dark gray, picking up, debris from the ground, or just getting the darker smoke, because it tells that story of that whipping motion. So this is obviously the older smoke, and the newer smoke is the one that's on fire. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the glider, and again, I want to remind you guys that this is a hand sculpted piece, and this glider by far is one of my favorite things about this statue. So the glider is ripped right from the comic books. That classic glider looks like a bat, shaped like a bat, really cool. That's the underneath of it. And again, so since this is hand sculpted and this whole statue is made out of resin, this glider is painted in a way where it kind of tricked me, and I thought that this was actually a metal glider. In front of the glider we kind of have this really cool demon head with the horns. Looks really nice. And again, if you guys have an Amazing Spider-Man number 238, look at the pages. It looks identical to the comic books. really cool. And if I flip them like this, you get a little more detail. Look how cool it's painted, man. It looks so awesome. Like I said, I really thought it was metal. So now let's take a look at Hobgoblin himself. I can't imagine how much time it would take to do these individual sort of scales. Looks really cool. The paint applications on this statue is absolutely gorgeous. And sometimes, you know, Diamond Select Toys is somewhat of a hit or a miss when it comes to painting their statues. But I looked at this thing with a fine tooth and comb, and this thing looks really great, man. It's absolutely perfect. The paint applications is clean. I really love the color apps that they chose for his costume with the oranges and the blues. Looks really great. And I love the cape, man. This cape looks absolutely great. Let's take a look at that. Very, very cool. And like I said, I really love the paint applications that they use for this statue. You know, we have bright oranges, and then if we look through the ripples, we get somewhat of darker oranges and a little bit of detail too. It almost looks like that the cape is somewhat of a leather material with all those breaks and creases in it, some tears and holes. Looks absolutely awesome. Now getting into the face, there is a lot of detail in this face to say that this statue is only 10 inches tall. You know, we got some really cool teeth, man, a great snarl, and I really love the paint application that they use for the eyes. He's got that really bright, glowing orange eyes. So like I said previously, this statue is a 3D rendition of Amazing Spider-Man number 238 of the Hobgoblin ripping Spider-Man suit. I'm not sure if this is actually made out of resin. I mean, it could be, but it does feel a little bit like PVC to me because you can somewhat bend it, but it looks great. It translates very well, and I'm super, super happy with this piece, man. It just looks really great. And you know, the day that I bought it, I was just looking at it forever, and my wife is like, "You're just really there staring at it, huh?" I'm like, man, there's just so many things to look at with this piece, and I'm just super happy that I bought it. So like I said, I picked this up at the Toy Vault. I did a statue hunting video, and you know, I gotta say, this statue was sitting on shelves for about a year when I finally decided to pick it up. So sometimes you do gotta take your time and think about, you know, some of the things that you want. But you know, this statue happens to be one of my new favorite pieces in the collection. It does stick out like a sore thumb because most of my statues are Spider-Man, Batman, Carnage, and Venom. But again, this is one of my new favorite pieces in the collection. And if I were to give this statue a review using a CGC grade, I have to give this statue a 9.8. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It's based off of one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, and I'm becoming a huge fan of, you know, artists making statues and making, you know, 3D renditions of comic book covers. And I think that's becoming a new trend, and I'm absolutely loving it. All right, guys, so a 9.8 grade on this statue. I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you're a Hobgoblin fan, if you're a Diamond Select Toys fan, and I gotta say, man, I am a huge fan. I've done so many statue reviews on Diamond Select Toys. I just love the beginner entry-level statues that they make with their PVC statues and with their, you know, mid-level entry statues with their resin statues. And if you don't have, you know, a lot of room for these statues, and if you don't have, you know, the money to buy statues such as Prime One Studios, XM Studios, Sideshow Collectibles, Diamond Select Toys is a good choice for you and your collection. So guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Again, don't forget to smash that like button if you like today's content. You know, leave some feedback in the comment section below on what you think about this statue. And lastly, subscribe to the channel for future statue reviews. So guys, I'm Kevin Vidina. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.